Hey y'all, welcome to Communication 216. And this class, the title is Survey of Communication Studies. And in this video, I just want to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about the class. My name is Steve Harrow, and I would prefer if you refer to me as Dr. Harrow or Professor Harrow. It's not a personal, ego thing. Uh, and I'll explain it to you if you really want to know, but I'm not going to talk about it here because I'm guessing most of you won't really care. I'm a professor in the Department of Communication at CSN. I got to CSN at 2010, so I'm going into my 9th year. And before that, I taught at a variety of places, and I've been teaching since 1990. So I got my master's in communication and taught for a long time, and then I went back and got my PhD at Georgia State University in communication not too long ago. And then I got this job at CSN. I got tenure, so now I'm a professor. In my work as a doctoral student, I studied rhetoric and politics and popular culture, and I wrote my dissertation about reality television, and I'm currently working on a book right now that looks at reality TV after the recession. And essentially, my argument in the book is that reality television teaches us about the way the rich people in society want us to think about capitalism favorably, and that prevents us from considering other ways that we can organize ourselves and our society that may be more beneficial to us little guys down here at the bottom. We're not going to get into that at all in this class, but that's my research interests if you're interested. So I've been teaching this class, I guess, for about 3 years. And this is an interesting class because the premise of the class is that you're getting an associate's degree at CSN, or you're a communication major at UNLV, you're in your second year, you're about to get ready to take your upper division comm classes at UNLV, or you're finishing up your associates at CSN. And so for CSN students, this is kind of like the final class before you get your degree that takes your study of communication to another level. And if you're a UNLV student, the idea of the class is that this prepares you to start taking the upper level comm classes, which are a little bit more about theory and a little bit more in depth. And so that's what this class is. So you've probably taken public speaking, which is a fairly straightforward, fairly simple, theory light class. You've taken interpersonal communication maybe, or group communication. Those classes, the way they're taught at the 100 level, are usually pretty simple. But in this class, we're going to step it up a notch and actually learn about the theories behind what you probably learn in the textbooks in your lower level classes. And if you're an engineering student, I don't really know why you're taking this. I know why your degree sheet says you need to. And I know that the people who design your program want you to take a theory class in communication. But this class is designed for people who are communication majors. Now, that said, the book that we're using focuses on communication in business settings, and I think engineering students will be able to apply this a lot to the way you communicate with colleagues and in your professional settings. And so the class will work for you, but it's not designed for you, if that makes sense. Okay, so in the class, essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to study the various areas of the field of communication and the theories, the primary theories that we use in those areas. So we're going to study intrapersonal communication, which is basically psychology, how you think inside your head. Interpersonal, which is one-to-one communication. Group communication, which is typically a group of 5 to 8 people with a common purpose who are trying to get something done. We're going to study that form of communication. We're also going to study organizational communication, public communication, and mass communication. And the primary thing we're going to do this semester is you're going to read a chapter, you're going to take a quiz that asks you questions about the theories in the chapter and also about the case study at the end of the chapter. And then in addition, you're going to answer a discussion question and talk to each other in the discussion board about that question. And then we'll have exams. We have 3 exams, which you'll see when we get to the syllabus and the schedule. So one thing I want to note is that you might think this class involves a lot of writing now, but before this, the way I taught it before I added the quizzes, there was probably twice as much writing. So you're getting a kinder, gentler version of this class. And honestly, I don't know any other way to teach this online and be able to evaluate what you're learning and help you learn without having you write a lot. So that's just what the class is. You may, if you don't want to write a lot, you might want to consider withdrawing and waiting until you can take it face to face. Okay, the last thing before I wrap this up, there will be some other videos later in the semester, but to wrap this up, one thing that's a little different is I actually live in Atlanta. We lived in Las Vegas for the first 6 years I worked at CSN, but then we moved back to Atlanta. And that doesn't really matter much in any way except for the time difference. So y'all are 3 hours behind Atlanta. So right now it's 10:53 on Sunday morning, which means it's 7:53 on Sunday morning in Las Vegas. And so primarily what that means is if you email me at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, let's say, in Las Vegas, and you think, well, maybe he'll still get this, it's only 3 o'clock, it's actually 6 o'clock, which means my workday is pretty much over. It's very rare that I answer emails after, late afternoon. But on the other hand, if you email me at 7 o'clock at night, I generally answer emails fairly early in the morning, and usually you'll get something back from me before noon, our time, which is before 9 your time. The other thing is, since I don't live in Atlanta, I don't have office hours. I do answer communication several times a day, Monday through Friday, which I think makes up for the office hours thing. And in my experience, I didn't get a lot of office hours visits anyway. But if you do want to talk face-to-face for some reason, I'm not sure what that would be, but if you do, we could set up a Skype session and we can do it that way. So let me know if you need to talk on the phone, if you want to talk face-to-face on Skype. But I actually prefer written communication so we both can reference it later if necessary. Alright, so that's it for the welcome video. I'm looking forward to working with you. It's always interesting to see your perspective on these theories and the case studies. And I learn a lot from working with y'all, and I think you're going to a lot too if you dive into the course. And so I'll be talking to you more this semester, but for now, I'm signing off. Have a good Sunday.